Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to your internet, and welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where you get an extra side helping of "Stand the heck back." With me, as always, is Irate Bear. Bear, how is my favorite UK cartoon, totally not Limp Biscuit Bear?
What is up with you this evening?
I'm feeling pretty good today, actually. I feel pretty good.
Okay, well, I'm wonderful. Thank you very much, Bloodwing. I've had a fairly productive day. Thank you very much for asking. I'm all right. I'm all right. I just had the world's shortest nap. I must have been in deep sleep for about 10 minutes, and that was about it. Then jumped in the shower and just made it right on time.
Yes, you did. Sometimes those power naps can do a world of good, though.
I don't know about that, man. It was not nearly long enough.
When I worked, that's usually how I would spend my lunch hours. I'd go out to my car, eat real quick, and then kick back, close my eyes for a short power nap. And man, that would make all the difference in the world. Now, the last job I had, I never even took a lunch. I would just eat right at my desk and keep working. But yeah, I feel pretty good today. Had an appointment, a physical for my SSA. Had to drive to the complete opposite corner of the city. I mean, it's
I
not
did
like
see you tweet something about that. Yeah,
it's not like I live in New York, but it's a pretty good drive. It's a 40-minute drive on a good day. Today was not a good day at all, traffic wise. Do you remember? I don't know. It's been a few weeks ago. I read a local story about a fellow that was in a car crash, got out of his car, walked across the road, and got hit, got run over and killed.
Yeah.
I was right there in that area, and if you remember how bad I said that was, yeah, it's bad. We left at 5 after 8 this morning. That's when my wife got home from taking the granddaughters to school, and we pulled in their parking lot at 5 minutes till 9. So, but we got there, and
you got there.
We got there and went in, and of course you gotta, I think that's all they do there at this little office is just examine people for their SSA claims, for disability. And you go in there, and of course you got to fill out the little questionnaire, as always.
Yeah.
So I'm filling out the questionnaire, and then I eventually get to go back and see the doctor, and I'm already wondering, hey, Maddie, I wonder how the doctor gets this job, because this isn't exactly a high-paying job, I wouldn't think. Have they killed too many patients? So I'm already thinking that, and I get in there, and she's speaking with a very heavy Eastern Bloc accent. I couldn't quite place it, but it was Russian or Czechoslovakian or something like that. I don't know.
And that's for done, your Bloodwing.
Yeah, I'm thinking, oh my God. What is his name? The Nazi doctor, that famous Nazi doctor. He's had a sex change and he's still alive and he's getting ready to get me. Mengele, that's it.
Yeah.
But she was actually quite pleasant, and she put me through my paces, and of course I told her up front, look, I just had surgery, so depending on what you want me to do, because I figured they'd want me to lift, weight, see how much I could lift and stuff like that. I said, I may not be able to do at this point. But yeah, it ended really, I was really worried about it, as I've said to you, because I said, of course they want me to go for this physical now that I've had this surgery instead of before, when they could have seen what it was really like. But she says, well, it's pretty obvious that yes, you have this problem.
And you have problem. You are old man.
Yeah, yeah. And basically what she said is she's going to put it through with her stamp of approval. She's going to fudge a little bit on the smoking bit and say that I'm trying to quit. And said I should hear in a couple of weeks. So yeah, I feel pretty good.
Oh, well, in terms of feeling good and all that kind of stuff, I had a very, very poorly Vanilla Bear today.
I seen that on Twitter that she wasn't. She was feeling a little under the weather.
I saw that you took the piss out of her.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, she was quite unwell. I don't know when she started feeling unwell, but she wasn't right from around 10 a.m. this morning, and I pretty much took the reins for the day. She wasn't feeling particularly fresh. So I put her to bed.
Yeah.
I did the business, picked up because only one of my kids is off school at the moment. The other one's still off for Easter half term. We call it half term here.
I got you.
Yeah, the youngest is back at school now. He's already had 2 weeks off.
That probably matches up to our spring break here, which our kids have most of them have already just gotten through. So
yeah. So Easter holidays are over for the little man, but yeah. So I went and picked him up and did all that, or did all the business today. Yeah. Basically, while she relaxed.
While I'm thinking of it, this is the part of the stream where I usually tell you like and share the stream because YouTube won't, and if you want to help an old out, blah, blah, yada yada yada. But you're going to notice that there's something missing today. I took away the super chat. And let me explain.
Give him money.
We are now in day 5 of trying to get any kind of answer from AdSense because they won't let me get that money. The money you guys have super chatted to me up to this point is untouchable. I can't get it. So I don't want to add to that total and maybe not get it. That's my reasoning. But I have tried I even reached out to them on Twitter. Nothing, not an email, not a message, not a DM, nada. So if you want to go that extra mile, and you can, because if you don't have the money, please don't give it to me. There are links to my Streamlabs and my Patreon in the description. Hopefully, I'm sorry for those that would prefer to use Super Chat and all that. I'm sorry. Hopefully it will be back once I get an answer and get some help from them and can get my money.
Yeah, might help.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So I will be back shortly, Mr. Wing. I need a potty break.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have to start taking bets on you next.
20, not even 20, 10 minutes in. I'll be back shortly, mate. All right.
All righty. All right. How are you, chat? How are you? Brian Diamond says, hello there, my fellow boomer. Hey, we got us boomers. We got to stick together, right? 99 every day now is all local talk about, even though it's normal. Well, it's not that hot here, but it is pretty warm. I didn't even wear a jacket this morning. It was probably in the upper 50s when I left. And if you know me, I don't even zip up my jacket in the middle of winter. It felt good to me, so I went out in a t-shirt. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing pretty good. Other than the AdSense thing, I'm feeling really good. The AdSense thing's just aggravating me. They could at least tell me something or say hello or yes, we got your message or something. I got nothing. Nada. It's just ticking me off. So yeah, temporarily we're going to turn the super chat off because I just don't see any sense in adding to that total that I can't reach. And you guys don't want it to go in there and just go to YouTube, I'm sure. So excuse me. Brian Donovan again, the 50s would kill me. Oh no, feels good to me. I'm always hot though. I'm always hot. Good enough. Work later. Kyler's is what it is. Yep. That's one of my favorite sayings. You can ask Bear when he gets back. It is what it is. That's that's my outlook on life. It is what it is. Whatever it is, you tackle it and you go with it. Sean, that would require them to care about customer service. I know, right? Exactly. I just can't believe if you don't have AdSense on the AdSense site, the only way to contact them is a feedback button. And I've hit it multiple times and sent the message, and which also automatically sends a screenshot of what you're talking about. When you send it, nothing. Send them a message on Twitter, nothing. Now I'm going to retry the Twitter thing. Haven't done it because today's been pretty busy, and tomorrow's going to be pretty busy as well, because tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I have to be downtown. God, I hate downtown Indianapolis. I hate it with a passion, but I have to go downtown, make sure to bring money with me to feed the parking meters, because that's the only place to park where I'm going, and go see the head shrink. So yeah, that's tomorrow. And get that out of the way. Maddie, I did miss it earlier. I'm sorry. I'll get it to you here in just a minute, as soon as Bear gets back, because you all know I have a hard time doing two things at once. So we'll have a lot of dead air if I go looking for your name in Twitter. Unless you want to DM me, that will make it much easier on my end. Duck Dogs' head shrinkers are useless. I don't even know why I'm going there, because I specifically told them, because I have an advocate helping me get this, because I had some trouble. Deck train. I don't know when my next surgery. Hopefully never. I don't want to go through this every day. Although there are still plenty of blockages in my system, though the two that they tackled this time were, they said, the two main ones. Head shrinkers are useless. Yeah, I specifically told them, it says here that you're on antidepressants. No, they asked me if I'd ever been on them, and I said about 8 years ago, for a year I was on them. There's nothing wrong with me now, but they insist on sending me anyway. No, I can do certain things, Kyler. Walking and chewing gum at the same time must be real. I can do certain things at the same time. I'm a heck of a short order cook, so I can keep all those straight and do it all at once and everything. But when it comes to reading and typing something at the same time, yeah, big fail for me. Just can't do it very well. Okay. See, that was just a copy and paste, and you heard that. I went quiet. It's on its way, Maddie. Jordan Peterson should be your shrink. I guess so. I don't know, Grill and Pirate Pete. They want to cover all their bases, I guess. Because like they said today where I went, well, because I was talking to them about it, and they said, well, not everybody applies because they have a physical problem, but they have emotional or mental problems. And I understand that, but that's not me. And I specifically told them it's not me. But yeah, I mean, they're paying.
It's not me, it's you.
Yeah, it's you. But they're paying for it. So yeah.
My apologies.
Huh?
My apologies.
Oh, no problem.
I wonder if I've picked up Vanilla Bear's disease.
Uh-oh.
Can you just a small glass of that, please, babe?
No, have it, because that's helping me.
All right,
okay. Got the queasy stomach?
You. Ow! Fucking that really hurt. For fuck's sake. It's all gone Pete Tong. No, I'm just getting a little bit gripey. I'll be all right.
And a wild muse appears. She asked for a link, and I gave her a link while you were away. How you doing, Musi?
I'm doing okay. Fighting with my hotspot today because some sites load really fast, and then some are like, okay, I think another gray hair is coming, and this thing ain't loaded yet.
I hear you on the gray hair stuff.
Yeah, even I know about that shit.
Yeah. I think Bear's got more gray hair than I do, though.
Probably do.
Well, my dad doesn't have very much. Well, he's only recently got gray hair, but he's 80. Well, we'll be 80 in May. So it's only been in the last couple of years that he's got gray hair. So it kind of runs in a family.
I think my dad went gray fairly young, actually. He never went bald though, so that's a good sign for me. I'm not going to go bald.
Yeah. Oh, and Martin says, at least you have hair. Oh, I have a lot of hair, very thick. I can, and this is not an exaggeration, I'm not joking, I can stop a pair of clippers, full stop. If they move too quick through my hair, just, yeah.
So can Ronan. And my dad has the balding pattern where he's got none on top, just around the sides.
Yeah.
So after many years ago, when we were still living in Georgia, I was still living with my parents. He'd go to the same barber shop, and it was $5, and they buzz it short. He came back from the visit one day, and he goes, "That's it. We're gonna have to buy a clipper set." Mom said, "What happened?" She goes, "I sat in this chair, and he told me it was $10." And Mom goes, "How'd it go from $5 to $10?" He goes, "That shit told me that he needed to charge a $5 finder's fee because he had to find the hair in order to cut it now."
I like that. I like that. Yeah. But so how are you doing today, Maddie? We've established that Bear's feeling a little puny. I'm having a good day. How about you?
My brain is mush from all the work I did yesterday, but other than that, I'm fine.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. Well, I guess that's enough of the niceties and the chit chats, huh?
That's enough.
That is enough.
That's enough. Don't want to hear anymore.
So let me look around.
I'll be all right, mate. Don't worry.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. If they're not, I'll just put a boot up your butt. You'll get over it.
Don't threaten me of a good time, old man. I'll start grabbing some news because I know there's some good news out today. So
sure. Yeah. Oh, we're going to hit news eventually. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about, as you can probably tell from the title. Before we get into the news, I was looking around though to make sure that Scribe wasn't around because I was going to change the format just a little, and that makes his head explode. Yeah, burning churches and standing your ground. Well, burning churches should be obvious, as we're all aware. Anybody that's anywhere near social media or the news, the Cathedral of Notre Dame pretty much burned down.
Wow. Kinda. I mean, it's only the roof and the spire that came down there. The rest of it's fairly much intact.
I've seen the inside of it, though. I just recently seen a video, and it looks pretty bad.
I mean, it's encouraging.
It's encouraging that the structure is still up. Yes, that is encouraging.
From what I heard was the roof was made out of solid oak. So, old wood does not like fire very much. Well, depending on your definition of loving fire. Yeah,
and coming from someone that has many times lived in homes that had to burn wood to heat, oak burns very hot, very steadily, and very slow. So that probably explains why they had a hard time getting it out and had to work on it for so long. But what a tragedy. I mean, all that history and the gorgeous architecture. That building was just beautiful. Regardless of what your religious beliefs are, and this is none of it's even about religion, even though I see people on Twitter trying to make it about religion.
Oh yeah.
it's not even about really. It's the beauty and the architecture and yada yada yada. You know,
and the history behind it.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful thing. Thankfully, they were able to save the art and the artifacts that were movable that you could pick up and get out of there.
Yeah, yeah, they were able to. Yeah.
And I had read previously that they already had most of the bronze statues out of there to be worked on anyway. So there was that to be thankful for. Latest word is that it was an accident, and that's about all we know. And that there was no evidence that it was arson whatsoever. But they will be investigating the company that was in charge of the restoration. To see if they had anything to do it. Evil One says even the Satanic Church tweeted that it was a tragedy. Yeah. Now I did see a few atheists out there, beating their chest. And, those are the kind of atheists I can't stand.
Yeah,
because this just isn't about religion. I would feel the same way if it was the Kremlin building in Russia, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
It's the history and the art and the beauty that is now forever lost. And yes, no doubt they can probably rebuild and likely will, but it's just not going to be the same because now instead of having the Cathedral of Notre Dame that was built in the 12th century, we have a reasonable facsimile.
Yeah, we have a restored, right?
Yeah. So, watching the anti-theists, atheists gobbing off about it, and watching a few Muslims and just like minority SJW types, using these really weird arguments to kind of like try and justify it as if they did it. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, never mind your building. We've had thousands of years of colonialism. What's that got to do with anything, mate?
It doesn't. And the biggest problem with that line of thinking was, when was Notre Dame built? The 12th century. When was France a colonial power? What, the 17th and 18th centuries?
Something like that.
Long after Notre Dame was built.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
As far as I'm aware, it took 2 generations to get that thing built.
Oh, a long time.
Two or three generations.
A very long time, yeah.
And it's 850 years old, something like that now.
Yep.
It's people's legacy.
Yeah.
It must have taken hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people to design, produce the materials for, and construct that bloody thing.
Oh, absolutely. And just the stained glass work in that cathedral alone was probably the best example of beautiful stained glass art anywhere. Anywhere.
Notre Dame is a monument to human history. It shows human ingenuity and art. It's art.
Yeah.
Why, like, the way these people get is disgusting. I can't imagine many of them were massively offended when ISIS decided to start destroying all of that, Syrian history.
Yeah. Owen brings up a point: the stained glass and the rose windows survived. And they did. I think last I heard, there was one stained glass window that did not, but the rest of them did. So the majority of them did, and that was a good thing. Hey, P Dog, Deck Train says Quasimodo did it. I see what you did there. And like I tweeted on Twitter, I don't expect everybody, because everybody's not going to be a history nut like I am. And you all know I am a history nut. That's my point. So they're not going to feel the same about it as I do. But you've got to recognize the tragic. This isn't just a tragic loss to Western civilization. This is a tragic loss to civilization, period.
Yeah.
It's a human marvel is what it is.
Yep.
Like somebody said in the chat, they're going to, for the window that was lost, they're going to have a hard time trying to find an artisan that can come close to recreating what was there before, you know, it was destroyed. Because artistry is more and more artistry lately is going digital. A lot of people don't do things by hand anymore.
Exactly.
And it's going to be hard to find somebody like that. That's why, you know, it's no matter how many people in my Discord tell me I've got to get a digital pad so I can live stream me doing calligraphy digitally, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it digitally. When I get the money and I order my set, it's going to be metal nibs, India ink, parchment paper. I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way because there's got to be some things that need to be preserved.
I run across something like this on a much smaller scale, of course. Years ago, when I was in my 20s, I'd moved back to Kentucky for a short time to get away from all my bad friends at the time. This was prior to me getting married. I was staying with a cousin that lived in a very old Southern mansion. It wasn't theirs. They were sharecroppers, but that's where the person that owned the land put them up. Was in this mansion on top of the hill. It was gorgeous. But behind it was an actual slave quarters where the slaves used to live. And we tore that down. And it was almost a shame to tear it down because as you're tearing it down, you realize there was not a single nail in that entire building.
Wow.
But it had stood for hundreds of years. It was all put together with wooden pegs. It had hewn floor joists that they, you know, just took a big tree and hewed it out with axes. You know, all this amazing handwork. You know, it was just such a shame to tear it down. But, you know, the owner of the property said he wanted it gone. And so it was gone.
Yeah.
But
that's a shame.
Yeah.
Bit of history right there.
Yeah. Well, it's like I had a friend of mine that invited me to go to the Carlos Museum because she had to do homework on the Egyptian exhibit that was still there, the mummies that were still there. And we had, which was lucky for me, not so lucky for her, they had an exhibit of, you know, manuscripts through history, books that had been handwritten with a, and we walked into the room and I didn't know where to look first because I absolutely love calligraphy and the art behind it and the illuminated script. And after about 5-10 minutes walking around, I look over at her and she's looking at me and I'm like, "Are you bored?" She went, "Yeah. Can we go get lunch now?"
Yeah.
Okay.
B Junkie says, "Not ashamed, totally worth it." It wasn't the fact that it was a slave quarters. I get that. It was the craftsmanship that I'm talking about.
I'd really like for you two to come over here, you know, and visit some of our museums.
Yeah, it's the kind of craftsmanship that you just don't see anymore.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, that was big news. I'm sure everybody's aware of it. I just wanted to talk about it a little bit because it really, I'll be honest with you. I had a tear or two in my eye watching that. And I was watching it avidly. Once the news broke, I was glued to this was one day I was on Twitter the whole evening because I'm waiting for the next update, you know.
I hope you didn't asphyxiate yourself to the cancer that was the hashtag.
No, I didn't check the hashtag much. I just kept myself to news reports and what was being reported. And, you know, calming people down. Let's not jump on it was arson thing until we have proof that it is. I don't know if it's arson. I don't know if it's not. That's the point. We don't know. So let's not reach.
Yeah, let's wait until we get there.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to share this tweet with people because this is something that I quote tweeted today and kind of went on a rant about. European whites acting out right now. Like, damn, however does it feel to have centuries of culture and history unwillingly snatched away like that? And that set me off.
Oh, I know. There were idiots. And I did see a few of those threads that were pointing out the people that were gloating. Yeah. I expected the Muslim world to gloat. I really did. That was what I didn't expect was some of the others just, you know, leftists and whatever. And a wild monkey appears.
Good afternoon. How are you guys?
Doing just fine. We're just talking about
streaming, Alfie. Go to bed now.
Just talking about Notre Dame for a little bit before we move on.
Sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, I seen that stuff. That I didn't totally expect. I did expect the Muslims to gloat, but I didn't expect as many leftists and atheists that I seen come out and say, "Oh."
The Muzzies were laughing, Sharati. They absolutely were. And of course, a bunch of other news stories relating to the migrants that have came over in the last couple of years have been systematically burning down or vandalizing or firebombing churches across Europe in general, which is, I can't say somebody did it to Notre Dame. We have to wait for the investigation.
But hey, they're pretty sure it's not that already.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
They came out and said that as the fire's burning. We're pretty sure this isn't arson. Like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Investigations will typically take quite a while. I mean, it's not, you're not typically going to be able to make that assumption while the fire is still burning. We'll see. Well, you know, we'll see what comes out.
Yep.
But which brings me to the next thing that's in the top: standing your ground.
Oh God,
boy!
And this is old news by internet standards now, but you know, this is my first stream since it broke, so give me a break. Andy friggin' Worski.
The village
Who
idiot.
knew that he could sink so low? I mean, I knew he was going under, but oh my God.
Yeah. I just, ever since Chris decided that he was not going to come back, the balancing force in Andy's life, so to speak, just is non-existent.
Yeah.
And he's been steadily going downhill since, and now he's just become the village idiot that every time he turns around, he gets himself into more and more and more trouble.
And let me say this, as because they were in Florida, which is southern U.S. As a Southern American citizen or from the South, I can tell you this, that the most scary thing in the world to me is some cracky voiced Canadian telling me to get the heck back. Oh, good God. I just watched that and the cringe was so real. I'm like, guys, you were asking for this. You literally went out asking for this. You were trolling for somebody to get mad. That's why you were playing this crap over the loudspeaker.
Because, text to speech is never a good idea on a stream, especially not in today's political climate, where if you know you have trolls watching your stream, they're going to do everything they can to get your butt in trouble.
And then when it happens, Andy's all full of bravado and saying, "I'll take you down," and you know, the guy they were having issues with him and this, that, and the other. But when it come down to it, and let me point out, it was a fair fight. It was 3-on-3.
Mm-hmm.
He just started screaming, stand your ground. Like, what's that supposed to mean? Stand your ground.
Oh, it's like by that time, the same idiots that they had run into they were 100 yards away. I'm like, all you had to do is get in your car and leave. Don't start shit. Don't talk to him. Just get in your car and leave.
If you've seen the very end of it, when the cop was actually talking to him, that's what he told him. This is why we're arresting this guy. It's because you guys had every opportunity to de-escalate the situation, but you didn't.
Yep.
I just want to point out that while it would have been 3-on-3, that was in no way a fair fight. They would have got their asses whipped. They actually would have.
Oh, absolutely. I have no doubt.
They deserved it.
Yeah.
When you go out there to be provocative and you provoke people, where's the surprise? What were you shocked about? Where was the how did this take you by surprise? Oh, it didn't take you by surprise. That's why you brought a gun and a taser with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
They went looking for trouble and it found them, and then they wussed out.
Yeah.
They went to, because that part of Orlando they were in, from my understanding, is not the better part of Orlando to begin with. So they were already in a bad part of town.
I'm actually amazed. I mean, I live north of the Mason-Dixon now, but there are parts of my city in Indianapolis that if they don't walked around pulling that, they wouldn't have had to worry about some pumped up dude beating their butt. They'd have got shot.
Yeah, what I saw on the film, I mean, I didn't see anything that made me that suggested this was a bad part of town. Yeah. Bar crawls and stuff, sure, but that the area looked nice and well lit. The police responded immediately when the guy called and said, "Hey, yeah, I pulled a gun on somebody." I mean, they were there in what, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't be play stupid games, win the stupid prize.
Exactly. Now, let me say this: the dude swinging on failure, that was technically assault. I don't blame him, but technically,
no.
Yeah,
those 3 guys, absolutely, they're assholes. The guy in the white shirt, he assaulted Andy when he knocked the phone out of his hand early on.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was a de-escalation, and that's when Alex decides to taser the motherfucker. Oh, yeah, I'm allowed to cuss here. Anyway, when motherfucker comes out of my mouth, it always makes me, wait, where am I? Anyway, so then it de-escalates again, and instead of just walking away from these assholes, they stand your ground. That's not how it works.
No. Real quick, thank you, Cryptic, for the donations. You're so old that your wrinkles fold got wrinkles. Thank you, Cryptic.
Pincalo says, that's what I thought until I watched it again. I'm actually rather disappointed in failure the most. And Alex, the one who ended up in jail, he was the only sensible one of the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can hear him at one point saying, "Let's just leave."
Yes,
something like that. Yeah.
Right before everything blows up, he's like, "Let's just leave." And Adindro, if you guys watch him, he did a great video on this. And at that point, he cuts into the video and goes, "Too bad you're not in charge." Because if they'd done that, no big deal. But that doesn't keep the fans happy. Yeah. Unless if you're watching that stream and you're paying to have them say horrible things in the middle of crowded areas, you're wanting to watch Andy get his ass whipped. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what you want to happen.
Yeah,
look at the timing of some of it. Just as everything got really escalated and they decide they're going to follow these guys, they get another one of them super chats.
Yeah.
Yelling the N-word all over. And I'm like, these guys just want to see them get their butts beat. That's all there is to it.
Well, they did it while the police were there too.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag police lives don't matter and bullshit like that.
Well, I seen somebody. I actually went and watched Poisoning the Wells stream on this.
I'll have to watch them. I didn't realize they did one.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. I liked their take on it. But somebody pointed out in the chat there that even though you can hear that on the recording, that wasn't going out over the speakers at that point.
What's that?
Yeah, by that point, but by the point the cops were there, they had turned off the speakers.
Okay. Did the chat know that though?
Probably not. Probably not. And I guarantee you that when the cops and the judiciary system go back to look at that live stream, which they are, they're going to hear it.
Again, now, if the audience knew it was turned off and they're doing it, okay, that's just them being a little silly. If they thought it was turned on, and I don't see any reason why they wouldn't, because there's nothing in the video that suggests that they turned off the pill. They're just trying to get Andy beat down. Fuck it, let's get him beat by a cop since that didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that amazed me is if you did watch that very end of it, when they're leaning on the fence talking to the cop, Andy's starting to get some attitude.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh, dude, this is not Canada. This is freaking America. And this is Southern America. They will beat your butt, boy.
Yeah, Pincalo says, no, we didn't know it was turned off until after the police tweet went out.
Yeah.
It's like if they would have done any of that shit in downtown Atlanta, they would have had a cap in all of their asses. BTS that went out.
Yeah. Fuck it, try that in downtown Atlanta. See what happens.
Yeah, there would have been no confrontation. There would have been caps in asses, period.
Let me say, as dumb as this sounds, at least they were smart enough to do this in an area that was a sea of white.
Yeah.
To the point, I mean, it was a white boy that was pissed off at him.
Yeah, it didn't look to be predominantly black or Cuban or whatever.
There was a lot of honkies there.
Yeah.
And that was a
You
sea
love
of
that
crackers.
word, don't you?
I do. Honky's one of my favorite words. I sang a song on the game stream last night. Honkies aren't Negroes. And Satsu yelled at me and made me stop.
I'm not surprised.
It's true. But anyway, they got really lucky. They really did.
Yeah.
Because at the point of this gun standoff, they didn't know those guys didn't have guns. Failure's lucky he only got punched.
Yeah.
He could have got his ass shot.
No
What
kidding.
the fuck are you thinking?
I didn't see like a lot of this. I've only seen brief, very short clips on Twitter, which is why I'm staying quiet because I don't know the full details.
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
But the three gentlemen that they had a standoff with, they had guns?
No.
They didn't have
What I'm
guns.
saying is that they didn't know it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
If they had them, they didn't pull them. Let's put it that way. But it didn't.
Yeah.
The one guy, the big guy, who looked like he'd spent some time in a gym, took his shirt off. So I would assume he didn't have one because it didn't show.
Oh, dude, all three of those boys were roided the fuck up, man. They were buff.
Yeah.
They had to beat those boys down. And look, take your ass whipping. You earned it. You earned it.
Yeah.
But pull a fucking gun. What a bitch.
You know, what got me was when the cop asked Andy, "Why didn't you put your phone down and help your friend?"
Yes, I did. He actually said that. I was going to. What? Make up your mind. No, you weren't. You were filming it for the audience. Shut up.
One of the things that stood out to me is even once the gun was drawn, that one old boy didn't back down. He just stood there like, "What are you going to do? Shoot me?"
Yeah, because these guys are also drunk.
My general attitude towards these in public IRL live streams is just don't do it because
they're trash fires.
They usually are, and I don't know what exactly happened with the Andy one and stuff, but I've seen various things reported on by like Keemstar and whatever in the last couple of years of poor lads who have gone out trying to do like a Pokemon Go live stream or something, and then somebody saw them live streaming, they got doxxed or whatever, and then they got beat the fuck out. They got battered by somebody, and then they got robbed or something. You know, I see that happening far too much. So yeah, I just don't recommend people do it, to be honest with you.
It was just a crap show all the way around, and I couldn't believe it. When I first took note of it, when Jeff Holiday tweeted a little snippet of it. And then that got my interest up, and I started watching the whole thing. But I'm like, I'm going to tell you what, right? You know, right now Alex is the one behind bars. He's the one really paying the price.
Oh yeah.
And these aren't going to be chump charges that he's on. This is serious stuff. It's felony.
Yeah, he was slapped with 3 felony charges.
Andy and Failure are going to be lucky if they walk away without charges, because there's enough evidence there to charge them with quite a few things, actually.
Yeah, and to send Andy back to Canada.
Oh yeah, never allowed back in.
Yep.
Rhetorical says, oh, there you go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it says he heard Alex is out on bail. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I not knowing whether or not Medicare's figures are actually right, but he figured it out using what he saw of Florida law. It would have been $1,500 bail. Well, the bail would be $15,000 with 15 bond.
See,
so it wasn't unpayable, but that don't make the charges go away.
Yeah,
nope.
It's still stiff, nonetheless. You know,
it's not the bail that is the big thing. It's the 5 years prison time.
Yep. And there'll be no more gun carrying for him, because if he gets convicted on a felony, that's it. He loses that right.
Yeah. Pink Hollow, that was not a taser. It was a teaser.
So, yeah, I mean, good God, I knew Andy was spiraling out of control, but I this really took me a little by surprise.
I don't think Andy's out of control the way he was. I think he has brought it back quite a bit. But this is a lucrative thing for him, for them to go out on the town, make asses of themselves, and then they just go back. It only takes that one time of running into somebody who decides to call you on your shit. Yeah. And that's what happened. I mean, he ran into somebody who's like, all right, let's do it. Let's and then, oh God, Bear, I don't know how much you've seen of this, but my favorite
not a lot
part
of it, mate. Not a lot of it at all. I've only seen like one or two.
Wait a minute. Toasted. You're joking, right? That's a joke. He says Andy did nothing wrong. He was followed.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting take. Yeah. Bear.
Hello.
So after their second interaction with this guy, after they tase him, and it does nothing to him except piss him off to the point where he rips off his shirt and is ready to kill these motherfuckers with his bare hands. Yeah. They finally decide to walk away, and as they're walking away, Andy starts talking shit about how he's lucky he ain't down on the ground.
Yeah.
And then they actually mentioned shooting him.
Yeah, said he'd look good with his nice pecs. He'd look good with a bullet hole in him.
Well, right before that, Alex yells, "You trying to get shot?" Okay. Everybody keeps paying attention to what Andy said right there, because Andy did. He goes, "Nice pecs. How'd you look with a bullet wound?" Right before Andy says that, Alex says, "Are you trying to get shot?"
Oh,
that's the DA is going to notice that.
Yeah. Real quick, thank you, C-Tron, for the donation. Monkey, if Alex has a CCW permit, then he is as big an idiot as Worski and deserves what he's getting. You have a responsibility as a gun holder to keep yourself out of dangerous situation. Alex knowingly put himself in said situation.
Alex should have walked away.
Absolutely correct. I agree 100%.
I'm not saying he's not wrong. I'm just saying Andy's not innocent.
Okay. Toasted Network says that was a joke. Okay. I couldn't tell. Sometimes you can't tell in a text format.
Yeah, that's the other thing about Ed's video. Andy's yelling at them to get back, get the fuck back. And then he plays these SpongeBob things a few moments later. Like, follow those guys. Follow those guys.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Why are you following them?
You're like 100 yards away from them. Just get in your car and fucking leave.
Dude, go back to making feminism videos.
Yeah, right. Sirius says, from what I heard, Alex's gun wasn't even loaded. That makes him an even bigger idiot.
Yes. Don't pull an unloaded gun. You do not point a gun at somebody unless you are willing to shoot them, period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is not a fucking joke. And you know what? Brandishing an unloaded firearm is no lesser of a charge than brandishing a loaded one.
Nope. Doesn't make a difference.
Nope. Still aggravated.
And I get what you're saying. I mean, yeah, they didn't put them in danger. But this is the part where I was talking about, Bear, where they're lucky those guys weren't carrying.
Yeah, exactly.
They pull out a gun, and they only have one gun among the three of them. If all three of those guys were packing, who wins that fight?
Yeah.
And we're talking the southern United States, folks. There's a good chance that all three of those guys were packing. I mean, you just don't know. No. Owen Harmon says, I got arrested in Jacksonville, Florida when I started a fight with a U.S. sailor. I was in uniform and got my butt beat all over the jail and told to go back to France with all the other pussies.
Sorry to hear that.
America, heck yeah.
Every time I've had interactions with your sailors, they wouldn't fucking talk to me.
I mean, the best thing that Alex should have done when they were starting to tell him to take out his gun was he should have put his hands in the air. He should have backed up, turned around, and went, I don't want any more to do with this shit.
Yep.
I'll be over here, and he'd walk away. Because, you know, the way they were saying the stuff, the way they were trying to go the situation on, it was like they were doing it in order to keep their viewers entertained. Because nobody in their right mind would, you know, seek out a fight with people that are standing about 100 yards away. You're nowhere near them. Stand your ground is is not even an issue when you're 100 yards away and the people you're looking at don't have any weapons drawn on
you. There's one part of it also that I don't think has got enough attention. There's a part right before he pulls the gun where Failure says, Andy, take the speaker. And it's almost like a pre-planned event.
Mm-hmm.
Andy doesn't go, why am I taking the speaker? It's like immediately known. Oh, okay, yeah, pull it.
Yeah.
Like look, if this happens, you take the speaker and you pull the gun.
Which goes to prove that they all knew that Alex had a gun. Yeah. And they were just waiting for a chance to pull it out.
Internet famous.
Yeah, internet stupid.
No, infamous. That's the word. Infamous.
Infamous. Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we move on to the news, or Barry, you could go on with a news story if you should so like to do so. But I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Hey.
So
was it 52 minutes in?
Something like that.
I can't say anything. I went 10 minutes in, so.
Damn you and your potty culture. I got to go potty too. Dang it.
I'll talk to Monkey whilst you're away anyway.
Yeah.
Monkey.
How you doing, Bear?
I'm okay, mate. How are you?
I'm tired, man. I only got like 3 hours of sleep and it's pissing me off.
Yeah? My son is coming to join us. What are you doing down here, Alfie? What?
It's a man, isn't it?
What?
Your body is a man, isn't it?
My body is a man?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a man.
and
Get your hands out your pants, boy.
And
they'll fall off.
And my body is a boy, and
yes, and you'll eventually grow into a man one day. Yes.
And
mum is a woman. Yes.
And mum's body is a woman.
Yeah, that's correct. Well done. Oh dear. Sorry, Monkey, you were saying.
No, I just mentioned that I hadn't got sleep. That's all I did. Okay. I was just whining about me, man.
You'll have a big boy sleep after Lords of the Night, then I'm sure.
Oh, I hope so, man.
Knowing you probably sleep for about 18 hours, won't you?
No, I've only had one really good sleep in the last little while, and yeah, that one was about actually 11 hours.
Oh, okay, that's fairly decent. That's fairly decent. In relation to what Owen Harmon said, when I was serving in the Royal Navy, I couldn't get US sailors to talk to me when they were in Portsmouth.
Why not?
I don't know. I was in a bar drinking. No, I knew that they were in. It was one of your aircraft carriers was in, and I heard the accents, and I turned around and I tried to strike up a conversation with one of them, and they wouldn't talk to me. And I tried a couple of others, and they wouldn't talk to me either, you know. And I tried it in Naples when we were alongside one of your Arleigh Burke classes, and they wouldn't talk to me then. I have no idea why. I was to try to strike up a conversation. You know, make a friend across the pond.
Because they're racist.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, the only American naval person to ever actually talk to me properly, it wasn't even directly to me, it was to our entire ship's company, was when we went into the NATO base in Naples, and they wanted to have some kind of big parade or something, and one of their officers addressed our ship's company and mispronounced the name, which I found amusing because you guys also have a Gloucester in America.
Gloucestershire.
And he went, Gloucestershire. I was like, eh. We were all looking at each other like, what? And I managed to get a couple of Canadian sailors to have a conversation with me, but
that's because this is America and we don't like you openly bi-racial kind of people over here in America.
I just wanted to have a chat. You know me, I like talking to people. I just wanted to walk up to them and have a chat, you know. I was a little bit upset by it. I was like, oh, okay.
So you have the same problem with pronunciations that I do, because living in Georgia, the main problem I had was when you ask somebody for directions and they go, well, yeah, and then you get to Ponce de Leon and you turn to left. I twitch. I did that. I was with a friend when that happened, and we got in the car, and she goes, why is your eye twitching? I said, it's Ponce de Leon, not Ponce de Leon. Give me a break here.
Oh, there's a town down close to where I'm from in Kentucky where it's spelled Yosemite.
Yosemite.
Nope. If you ask them what the name of that town is, it's Yosemite. I'm gonna go on over to Yosemite over there.
I just like saying Shire with anything that has Shire spelled in it.
I'm going to type a word in the chat, Monkey, and I'd like you to pronounce it. It's not the state, but the county that I live in. We don't have states in England; we have counties. I'm just going to type it in now. I want to see how you pronounce it.
We have counties and states.
Yep.
That's Cheshire.
Cheshire. I like
Cheshire.
And then townships.
I know
below that if you want to break it down even further.
Was it Cheshire?
Cheshire.
Cheshire.
Yeah.
Because you can't spell. You're English and you can't spell.
By the way, fuck you for that meme you tagged me in yesterday, dickbag. I had to fucking mute that conversation. Every couple of minutes, another American would be like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, "Fuck you."
Oh, the one with the guy pouring out the cup of tea. Yes. Oh yeah. I see that.
You wasteful motherfucker. Yeah. Say that, Monkey. What metaphorical Travis has just typed.
What did he say? Oh, that's Worcestershire.
Yeah.
Worcestershire.
What's this here? As in, what's this here sauce?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Why is there Shire in it if that's not what it is?
Well, sure.
That's Shire.
Sure.
It's what's this here sauce? Dang it.
Y'all silly.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I can't. There's a lot of words I cannot pronounce properly, or even just say. Like, on the top of word, I had this in my video script, and I couldn't physically say it. Right, right. That word there. Couldn't physically say it.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah, I couldn't. It wouldn't just leave my mouth. I was just like, come. I wish I'd kept the recordings. It's just me going, why can't I say that word?
Well, like if you listen to me sometimes in videos where I have to say a certain word, I will slow down to say it. Otherwise, it comes out wrong. And that word is statistics. Because if I say it too fast, it comes out statistics.
Yeah, I'm like that with regularly. If I try to say that word at normal speed, it's regularly.
In our defense, Bear, I don't think most Americans know we're not supposed to say Shire like that.
Yeah.
No, I like it that you do because it reminds me of the Lord of the Rings.
I never knew it until you and I became friends. So I was like 42 before I realized that it's sure.
Sure. See, now that I have you on the stream, on the stream with you, Monkey, I can say that I kind of miss you owning your stalker because that was entertainment for me.
I know
she blocked you, didn't she?
She did. She eventually got tired of me and blocked me.
Sad day.
Yeah.
It's a very sad day.
It. Oops.
She come after me once, but she doesn't talk to me anymore after my answer to her. She said something to me about like, well, have fun sleeping alone or sleeping with your waifu pillow. And I said, no, I'd prefer to sleep with my wife of 36 years. Thank you very much. How about you?
Oh dear. Well, I have some articles we can go through if you want.
Alrighty.
Okay, start with the first one from abc.net.au. Game of Thrones viewers in China beg for sex and violence to not be censored in final season. Well, good luck with your country. I mean,
they want to see that hot brother on sister action, do they?
Oh, good Lord.
Hashtag incest. To be fair, though, I prefer shows that show the blood and the gore and the sexiness. You know, that's why I love Spartacus so much.
Yeah.
As the final season of HBO's blockbuster television series Game of Thrones hit screens around the world today, audiences in China are begging for the explicit scenes of sex and violence not to be censored. Well, I mean, so far there hasn't been much in the way of sex and violence anyway, but I imagine there's going to be a lot of it en route, especially next week. Holy crap. After a near 2-year hiatus, the first episode of the final installment was made available for streaming on Tencent Video. At the same time, it was released in the US. Season 8 has been one of the most discussed topics on Chinese social media in the lead up to its release, with the hashtag related to the topic racking up more than 100 million views on Weibo, which I believe is their Chinese social media platform, which I imagine isn't very good. Even Chinese Premier Li Qiangguang, I have no idea how you pronounce this guy's name.
Chinese names always sound angry.
Qiangguang.
Liao.
It's like China's very much like Germany with their language. Everything they say sounds really angry.
Yes.
Yes.
Eins, zwei, drei. Calm down.
Even I love you sounds like you're getting ready to tear somebody's head off in German.
Well, if you're doing it right.
How'd you say it in German? How'd you say I love you in German?
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Something along those
You did
lines.
what to his dick?
Ich liebe dich. Hold on. Google Translate. Okay. Type I love you. Fuck off, you piece of shit. Hold on.
It says this. Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
You're asking a Cuban to pronounce German. It doesn't come out well.
Hold on. Let me just type this in.
Let's
German.
Eat my big dick. That sounds like I love you.
It's Ich liebe dich.
Nothing says I love you like blow me.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Except her actually doing it.
Well,
One of my friends on Facebook asked if there was a Cliff Note addiction for the Game of Thrones TV show. So me being me and not being able to resist, I responded with 1, don't get attached to any character. When you do, they die. Number 2, bitch with the white hair has dragons and be cray cray. 3, Cersei fucks her brother and has kids that are crazier than the bitch with the white hair. Number 4, Jon Snow can't die. Number 5, if you find yourself facing down zombies that are pale, run. Number 6, there's a witch that's nuttier than a fruitcake. That's about it.
pretty much. Pretty much. I'm way behind on the show myself because I don't get HBO, but I came to it late. My first introduction to it was when Jacob, my son, was still living here at this house. And he slept on a futon that was in the front room. So he was sitting on his futon, and on his laptop, he's watching this show. And I happened to look over, and it was the scene from like season 1 or whatever, where what was the real bratty prince king, whatever that was early in the show. Yeah, Joffrey. Yeah, was abusing those 2 prostitutes.
You sound really British then, Maddie. You went, Joffrey.
And I'm like, he's watching porn. What are you doing watching porn sitting here in my front room? And he said, this ain't porn, Dad. It's a show called
some masochistic porn.
Game of Thrones. I'm like, Jesus, you better watch that with the granddaughters running around. Jeez.
Obviously, I won't, give away any spoilers or anything. But I loved how the first episode of the final season started on Sunday night. You know, the first words spoken were by Tyrion, and it was a ball bag joke.
I predict
great.
Everybody's going to die.
Yeah,
global warming is going to kill everyone in.
It's going to be the Red Wedding all over again.
One of the most. What episode was called the Reigns of Castamere, wasn't it?
I don't know.
That specific, or was the episode actually called the Red Wedding?
I don't know. The Red Wedding is just the common term that everybody refers to it as.
Let me have a quick look. The Red Wedding episode. Is it the Reigns of Castamere? Yes, it is the Reigns of Castamere. Yeah. See, I can remember the name of the episode.
I couldn't tell you what the episode.
Well, that's the thing though, is because I'm like I love Game of Thrones, but I'm not so massively into it that I know all the lore and stuff. I mean, there's a YouTuber called Alt Shift X, which he does these awesome lore videos, really in-depth stuff, fucking great. If you're into Game of Thrones, everybody should go check him out if they love their Game of Thrones lore. I like watching him, but I specifically remember that one episode because well, how could you not?
Right.
Yeah.
Sarah says it was called The Red Wedding in the books.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just googled it. It is actually called The Reigns of Castamere in the TV show. So
okay, was that the end of that article, Bear?
No, it wasn't. But we don't need to continue with that.
All right.
It's pretty much.
I've got one here. A 71-year-old man has been arrested on 100 counts of rape.
Wow.
I read that earlier. Yeah.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I haven't read it yet. I'm just clicking the link. Let's let it. My piece of crap computer.
Well, he didn't have impotence at his age. Shit.
A 71-year-old Central Louisiana man has been arrested on 100 preliminary counts of first-degree rape, accused of sexually assaulting children. Oh, you piece of crap. In and around his hometown decades ago, authorities said. Harvey Joseph Fountain of Pineville was arrested April 9th, 8 days after a now adult accuser, CNN, Jesus Christ, told authorities that Fountain raped him or her when the accuser was a child. The Rapids Parish Sheriff Office said. Investigators gathered evidence supporting that allegation, along with accusations that Fountain raped other children. Oh, Jesus. The Sheriff's Office said the rapes are alleged to have happened from around the early 70s until the early 80s. And in each case, the child was, under 13.
Jesus
Sheriff's
Christ.
Lieutenant Stephen Phillips said, I didn't know this was going to be about child rape.
So he's going to ride the lightning, right?
Oh, God, he should. Phillips said he cannot yet disclose how many children are alleged to have been raped.
Oh, my God.
The investigation is still ongoing and more arrests are possible, the sheriff's office said in a news release. The rapes are alleged to have happened in places where Fountain lived and frequented in the area of Pineville, a city roughly 115-mile drive northwest of Baton Rouge, Phillips said. Fountain was being held Tuesday morning in the Rapids Parish Detention Center with bail set at $1 million. The county clerk's office said it wasn't immediately clear whether Fountain has a lawyer.
I have a question about U.S. law. Is it possible for you to just have like your bail just straight up refuse, like no price on it whatsoever?
Yeah, depending on the crime. Rare. Yeah, it is rare, but depending on the crime, depending on what kind of flight risk the individual is, and so on, they can refuse bail. Yes.
Well, I mean, he's not going to get $1 million, so
no.
You're actually not, according to the Constitution, allowed to have excessive bail. But that has changed over the years, and there are very, very, very rare cases where, they will absolutely no, you're not allowed to back out.
Send him to the chamber.
Yeah,
absolutely. And even you're right, Bear. He only has to get a percentage of that $1 million up to make bail, but that percentage, I think it's 15%, is going to, or maybe 10%. Either way, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, he ain't getting that.
The first accuser had given detectives names of other possible victims. Detectives also contacted them and gathered evidence supporting the allegations, Phillips said. Fountain initially was held on 50 preliminary counts of first-degree rape relating to more than one alleged victim. But by Friday, detectives identified other apparent victims while Fountain was in jail, and authorities rearrested him on 50 more counts of first-degree rape.
Jesus.
I'm shocked, actually, that they can arrest him for that. Almost everywhere has a statute of limitations on rape. And according to the article that I read, at least, this was in the early 80s.
Yeah, 70s, early 70s through the early 80s.
Yeah, so we're talking 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
Because even Bill Cosby didn't get, they only got him on one of the women?
Yeah.
Because all of the other ones had passed the statute of limitations.
Yeah.
So
see, there shouldn't be a statute. I'm sorry, but there should not be a statute of limitations on rape. Period.
Well, there's not on murder.
Last time I checked in most states, in most, if not all states, the statute of limitations for rape was 5 years.
Yeah, it seems a little little short, to be honest. Yeah.
Yep.
Fountain hadn't been formally charged as of early Tuesday, the county clerk of court's office said. A grand jury is expected to consider the case and decide whether and on which charges to indict him, Phillips said. In Louisiana, first-degree rape includes rape of children under the age of 13. First-degree rape in that state is punishable either by death or life imprisonment. There is no statute of limitation for the charge.
There you go.
I don't know what would be better, him serving a life sentence with the entire prison population knowing he's a kiddie fucker, or the death penalty.
Life sentence only if they put him in G-pop.
Yeah.
I agree. Get raped every day with a fucking razor blade.
I've got a palate cleanser of a news story.
All right.
It's under oddities in my AP app. Mysterious bowls of mashed potatoes confuse Mississippians.
Oh, I seen that the other day. Yeah.
You seen it? Residents of a neighborhood in Jackson, Mississippi are confused by the bowls of mashed potatoes they're finding on their cars, porches, and mailboxes. Resident Jordan Lewis described the Bellhaven neighborhood as a quirky one, with residents decorating road signs and putting Christmas trees in potholes. So we don't know if someone is just playing a prank or if someone just had a lot of leftovers, Lewis said. But Sebastian, whose last name is Swedish and I can't pronounce it, says some residents fear that there's a more sinister message behind the potatoes. Some people were thinking maybe the mashed potatoes were poisoned to kill animals, he said, noting that he almost stepped into a bowl of potatoes on Tuesday. I didn't taste it. I have a 3-second rule, so I didn't touch it. But some people were worried. It's unclear if anyone has eaten the potatoes, and news outlets report residents haven't alerted law enforcement. Resident Michaela Lynn says some of the potato finders have connections to local private Christian university, which may be a clue.
I have a 3-second rule. Can you imagine some moron walking up, finding a bowl of mashed potatoes on the ground, and thinking, should I taste it?
Right?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's quite odd. The article I read said that yeah, and you may have read it there, but I missed it. That neighborhood is known for quirky stuff.
Yeah. Christmas trees in potholes. Now that's interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you want another article?
Yeah.
I assume this is New Jersey, NJ. Dentist's Playboy Bunnies display rebuilt after neighbor tore it down. Now it's bigger and includes male mannequins. Because this doesn't sound absolutely horrifying.
Right.
The New Jersey, it is New Jersey. The New Jersey dentist, whose sexy Playboy bunny display was torn down by a neighbor last week, spent the weekend putting the lingerie-clad mannequins back in place, and they now have some men friends. I heard some complaints that we only had women, so now there are 2 men with the ladies. Wayne Gangi, a dentist in Clifton, said Monday. I think we may have covered the initial story on Ghost Poo, actually, come to think of things. Gangi said he sometimes puts mannequins up on his property to mark the start of the season. He insists the latest is not meant to signify Easter, but rather Playboy honcho Hugh Hefner's birthday, which would have been April 9th. The dentist said heavy rains early Monday did not destroy his display. I was surprised they're a little wetter and the ears are pointing in the direction of the wind, but other than that, they're okay. Gangi called police when he said he spotted a woman last week using garden shears to take down 5 mannequins dressed in lingerie with bunny ears. Desiree Shepstone, 37, told reporters and photographers at the scene that she was disgusted by the display. Clifton police charged Shepstone with criminal mischief. Criminal mischief! Lollygagging for damage exceeding $2,000. And the Passaic County Prosecutor's Office is now handling the case.
Wow.
They're mannequins, people. Good God.
Right? Wow. Some people, boy.
Yeah. Oh, weirdo.
Okay. Well, this wouldn't be an episode of Redneck Radio unless we had at least one article that had something to do with our favorite person, Crazy Eyes Mule Teeth.
I was just reading about her.
Yeah.
Of course you were, Monkey.
Donkey girl.
Pelosi appears to take new jab at Ocasio-Cortez, says a glass of water with a D could win their districts. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat California, on Monday made a point to heap more praise on Democrats who flipped Republican seats in the 2018 midterms and downplayed representatives like herself and freshman Representative Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat New York, who carried districts where a glass of water with a D next to it could win.
Wow.
When we won this election, it wasn't in districts like mine or Alexandria's, Pelosi said. She's a wonderful member of Congress, as I think all of our colleagues will attest, but those are districts that are solidly Democratic. To drive the point home, she picked up a water glass next to her and said this glass of water would win with a D next to its name in those districts.
God.
Pelosi, who is traveling in Europe with a congressional delegation this week, made the comments during an appearance before the London School of Economics and Political Science. Pelosi's comment appeared to be her latest attempt to play down the influence of the Democrats' progressive wing. During a Sunday interview with CBS News' Leslie Stahl in 60 Minutes, Pelosi said that faction was like 5 people.
Yo, throwing shade.
I just love it. I am no fan of Nancy Pelosi by any stretch of the imagination.
No, me either.
Good God, I love it when she comes out and comes after Miss Muleteeth.
Oh God, I got one here that'll make the guys cringe. But you know, you've heard of Florida man, Andy's our Canada man, and apparently there's a California man.
Okay.
California shoplifter stuffs chainsaw down his pants. A California business owner says store surveillance video recorded a man stealing a small chainsaw by stuffing it down his pants. Jeff Bennett of RG Equipment tells the Fresno Bee his security camera caught the thief Wednesday afternoon. The video shows the man take the chainsaw from a display, shove the blade down his pants, and cover the engine assembly with his jacket. Bennett says the man drove off in a pickup truck. He believes an accomplice was watching the store last week.
Well, at least it wasn't on.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, who looks at a chainsaw and goes, I can shoplift that. That'll fit down my pants. What the
fuck? Faithless. Yeah, you beat me to it. You went there. Is that a chainsaw in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
And I thought Florida man was bad. I mean, really a chainsaw?
Oh,
what a freak!
Yeah,
I have an article.
Are okay? Before you do that, I'm going to read this. I'm not going to read this article because it's just articles and stuff where kids get hurt. Just sadden the crap out of me. I don't like it. But it says man who threw 5-year-old from Mall of America balcony was looking to kill, said police.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I hope really bad things happen to him.
Yeah, I read the article, and the gist of it is he went there looking to kill somebody, waiting by the balcony, hoping to throw him over, looking for an adult because he was upset because none of the women would talk to him.
The weird guy hanging out by the balcony, huh?
Yeah, but since he couldn't get any adults close enough, he chose the 5-year-old and just tossed him over.
Piece of shit.
Somebody should pick him up and toss him over.
Yeah.
No. He's going to have a lot more fun in prison.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Them boys in there don't like it any more than I do when you hurt a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck with the Aryans in prison, jackass.
Yeah. Well, the Aryan Brotherhood's going to have fun with him. Hey, Pat.
Piece of shit. Not you, Pat, the guy we're just talking about.
Absolutely. All right. You say you got an article there.
I do, sir. I do. Pandas aren't cute. They're death-loving oxygen thieves. Let's just eat the idiot bears. That is a genuine headline from the Telegraph.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Oh my God. Let me get straight to the point. Pandas are pointless, wasteful, and silly. They should die.
Damn.
God
Wow.
damn.
Hates pandas a lot.
Is this the? Is...
Did a panda kill his mom or something?
Right?
I think so.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Let's look at the facts here. A lot of conservationists argue that pandas are the victims of man's actions, that urbanization and industrialization is killing the precious bamboo they need to live. Bamboo? They are bears, but they eat leaves. Hello, excuse me, panda bear. God, who fucking wrote this? You know, large, aggressive carnivores, big teeth, claws, grr. He actually put grr in there. You're supposed to eat meat. This problem with pandas is
They eat leaves.
so,
Jesus fuck.
these bears are shit.
Damn vegan bears.
Foxel says hashtag gas the bears.
Oh my God. What on earth is with the bamboo thing? A panda's digestive system is still set up to digest meat. The reason they can only eat only one of the hundreds of different types of bamboo the world has to offer is that their guts aren't supposed to break down bamboo. It's elevating fussiness to the level of suicide. It's like me eating only car tires and gravel and then asking for sympathy when I starve to death. Idiots.
Oh, good.
I think this Telegraph writer is a bit mad. This is the real news, people. As for industrialization and all that, well, hey, it doesn't seem to bother other animals. I don't see foxes complaining about cities. Rats seem able to cope with cities rather well. Countless other species seem to be able to deal with a changing world without going bleating to the WWF. This is evolution. Adapt or die. Being cute and fluffy doesn't give you any special rights, fatso. Wow. This guy's really mad at pandas, isn't he?
Pandas, man.
Dude.
Then there's sex. Pandas don't like sex. All that weird zookeeper stuff about putting two of them in a cage and seeing if they'll mate. Honestly, an animal either wants to perpetuate its genes or it doesn't. And the idiot bears clearly have some species-wide death wish. Who are we to stand in their way? I thought the whole conservation thing was about allowing nature to follow its own course without human interference. Pandas don't work. Let them go. He continues. Incidentally, keeping each of the 150 odd pandas currently in captivity costs around £1.5 million a year. How many of our own species could we feed in house for that? We should turn the podgy oxygen thieves out of their stupid furry ears and see how long they last on the streets with the foxes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good grief.
Look, somebody would keep one of them.
Well, yeah, probably.
Actually, that would be a waste. After all, there must be some good eating on a panda. He's now advocating to eat them. These are 300-pound grass-fed animals raised in organic conditions with exquisite care. At the very least, it's got to be worth a try. Panda steak, anyone? Oh, God.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Authors note this article was first published elsewhere on the Telegraph in 2009, but for technical reasons was later lost to the world. I'm resurrecting here because humanity's demented fondness for furry futility continues undimmed, meaning my work must continue.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Toasted. I'm aware that pandas aren't really bears, that they are related to raccoons, but apparently this guy isn't aware of that.
I'll drop the link to that article if anybody wants it in the chat there.
He just really hates pandas. Holy shit.
Okay. I've got one here, which is on a more serious note. Michelle Obama just compared Donald Trump to a divorced dad.
Yep, and pissed off a lot of people.
Oh boy. In an interview in London for her new memoir, Becoming, former First Lady Michelle Obama delivered a stinging assessment of the state of American politics and specifically of President Donald Trump. Said Obama, "We come from a broken family. We are a little unsettled. Sometimes you spend the weekend with divorced dad. That feels like fun, but then you get sick. That is what America is going through. We are living with divorced dad."
Wow.
The Independent, which reported on Obama's comments, said she offered that assessment in a joking manner. But joking or not, this is CNN, folks. So the reason I'm reading this article is to look at the stupidity. But joking or not, there's some real truth in Obama's assessment of how we got here and got Trump.
Ugh.
A look at the 2016 exit poll explains why. On character trait after character trait, large majorities of the public gave Trump poor ratings. Consider 38% had a favorable opinion of him, 60% had an unfavorable one. 33% said Trump was honest and trustworthy. 38% said Trump was qualified to be president. 61% said he was not. 35% said he had the temperament to be president. These are the numbers in virtually every past election of a loser. But Trump won. Why? Because 4 in 10 voters said the most important character trait in a candidate was someone who could bring real change to Washington. Trump won those votes by 68% points. Okay. And what's wrong with wanting somebody that can make change? Which brings me back to Michelle Obama's metaphor. So to reset, America is the child of divorced parents. He has been living with the mom for years. He's sick of her rules and doesn't feel like he can have any fun. This is starting to sound like personal experience.
So basically, Obama was the mom. So they're basically saying Obama was a pussy. Okay, yeah. I got that.
Enter the divorced dad, who seems fun, a little bit reckless, and above all, different. So the kid goes to live with the dad, and it's different, and maybe even good for the first few months. Dad lets you stay up late. He doesn't care much how much Fortnite you play. They haven't met me as a dad, evidently. Doesn't check to make sure your homework is done at night. But over time, the differences start to be less appealing. And when he's got the flu, maybe dad checks on him once or twice, but still winds up going out to dinner with some work friends.
Wow, she's got some daddy issues.
Yeah, no
My
shit.
gosh, I'm telling you. Get it?
Her daddy was banging hoes.
Yeah. Get it? There's no question that the average American voter had grown totally sick of establishment politicians. Political dynasties left them cold. And so on and so on and so forth. This is a really long article, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's just more of them trying to back Michelle and sounding like they've really got some daddy issues.
Yeah, no kidding.
And is it any wonder that people are upset? I mean, do they really think that all men are just hopeless and incapable of taking care of a child?
Apparently. You know, my dad wasn't like that.
I'm not a divorced dad. I'm not a single dad, but my wife and I, on purpose, through the period that our children were small, worked opposite shifts. So that way one of us was always home with the children. And there were plenty of times I took care of my kids while they were sick. And I think that I'd done just as good a job as anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when, after I had our son, we were, due to other circumstances, Ronan and I weren't together. So I was basically a single parent living with my parents. I had gotten sick. I mean, 3 steps away from pneumonia. It was either go home for 7 days and get over your acute bronchitis, or you're going in the hospital because you're going to give yourself pneumonia. 3 days into this, my mom's at work. The phone rings. My dad's off from work. I hear him answer the phone. And the manager that I was working for had known me since I was 4 years old. So apparently she didn't believe that I was sick. So the phone rings. My dad answers the phone. And I hear, "Oh, hi, Alice." Yes, she's in bed. And if you don't fucking believe she's sick, come here and take a look at her yourself. And I heard him slam down the phone. And I'm like, oh boy, I wonder what she said.
Yeah, you know, as a dad, and I can probably speak for Monkey and Bear here. I know both have probably. I know Bear for sure has been in this situation. I have to care for a sick child. There's nothing that's worse. It's not that you hate taking care of their sick. It's just that you hate seeing them in that condition.
Yeah,
just goes right through your heart.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. You know, especially when they're super little, you know. Well, I think when Alfie was like 1 or something, he had to go on like a nebulizer and stuff. I didn't like seeing him like that at all. You know, I had to go in hospital. I had to stay over with him during the night as well. And obviously he was very upset. And I actually had to pin him down a couple of times because he wouldn't take it. And I'd hate having to pin him, you know.
Yep.
It's not nice.
And the whole Michelle saying we're with a divorced dad, it's just a smack in the face of divorced dads everywhere.
Whoa.
My son is currently going through a bad situation. He's divorced and he's not been allowed to see his son for a very long time because his ex-wife is a piece of crap. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
And, you know, God.
I mean, we had a fucked up situation for the longest time for Ronan's child support, because since he was a truck driver with his ex, she decided that she was going to take him to court without telling him when the court date was to see if she could raise the child support. And since they don't notify you when you're on the road by a phone call because they're not obligated to, and he didn't show up for court. And I don't know what kind of shyster lawyer she got, but he wound up getting stuck with over $400 a week for child support.
God damn.
Yeah. We just got that fixed last year, but I mean, I'm like, how are you supposed to live like that? He goes, the way I've been living, by the seat of my damn pants and homeless most of the time.
And Michelle Obama, I doubt very seriously that there's any chance at all that you'll ever hear this live stream. But in case you do, not every man is an incapable carer of children. We're not all pieces of crap.
Ooh, this is an interesting one. CVS was fined. Do we want to hear about that?
Oh, sure. It
right.
took me a second to realize you were talking to me.
It is your stream. Let's make sure. Okay.
My mind was wandering for a second there.
Headline reads, CVS fined $535,000 for filing forged Percocet prescriptions. This is out of Rhode Island. Drugstore chain CVS Health has agreed to pay $535,000 to resolve federal allegations that it filled dozens of Percocet prescriptions its pharmacies should have known were forged. The U.S. Attorney for Rhode Island and the head of the Drug Enforcement Administration's New England office announced the penalty Tuesday. Percocet is a brand name painkiller that contains acetaminophen and the opioid oxycodone. Federal officials say the forged prescriptions were filled at several Rhode Island locations between September 2015 and June 2017 in violation of the Federal Controlled Substances Act. The statute places a corresponding responsibility on pharmacists to ensure the prescriptions they're filling are valid and legal. Woonsocket based CVS denies wrongdoing in the case, but says it agreed to this settlement to avoid the delay, uncertainty, and expense of litigation. Aren't they usually supposed to call the doctor to make sure that, because Percocet, I was on Percocet after I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth yanked. That shit, no.
Yeah, I don't know. They're around here. They're pretty strict on it. I mean, when I got out of surgery here recently, they gave me a prescription for painkillers for hydrocodone, and my drugstore wouldn't even fulfill the whole prescription. They wouldn't give me as much as the doctor prescribes because they said that was too many. You can't have that many. Come back later.
Oh, no, it wasn't. Mine started with another P, but it wasn't Percocet. My mom, after a major surgery, my mom has a very low tolerance for any kind of painkillers. Any kind. I mean, you give her a Tylenol and she's perfectly happy. If, you know, in that sense. So after the operation, they decided they were going to give her Percocet. She said she woke up the first night having to go to the bathroom, and she don't know what kind of reaction she was having to the Percocet, but she saw no walls, no ceiling, no floor. The only thing she saw was the bed she was lying on and Dad next to her. So she started tapping him, and she went, Ivan, yeah, I got to go to the bathroom. And he goes, it's over there. There's no floor, Ivan. There's no floor. I'm not getting out of the bed. She said after she came down from that, she went back to the doctor's office, put the bottle on the desk, and went, no, give me something else. I'm not doing this.
Okay. Do you have anything else, Bear?
I do.
You do?
I do, yes. And it does pertain to the cathedral fire.
Okay. All right.
And of course, this is YouTube being, well, YouTube. YouTube mistakenly flags Notre Dame cathedral fires videos as 9/11 conspiracy videos.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
of course they did.
Of course they bloody well did. YouTube said its anti-misinformation tool got it wrong.
Imagine my shock.
YouTube apologized on Monday for mistakenly linking the massive fire at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris to the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. The video giant said a new tool for battling misinformation made the wrong call, just like its frigging bot does on my videos. When it displayed text from Encyclopedia Britannica about 9/11 in several videos of the iconic cathedral burning on Monday. We are deeply saddened by the ongoing fire at the Notre Dame Cathedral, a YouTube spokesperson said. These panels are triggered algorithmically. Of course they are, because you do everything like that and it doesn't work like 80% of the time. And our systems sometimes make the wrong call. We are disabling these panels for live streams related to the fire.
Sometimes.
Yeah, right. Sometimes.
I've actually seen it when YouTube has done this on videos. Where it will have a Wikipedia article underneath the video that people can go look at because they feel like it's misinformation or something or other. I hate that. YouTube introduced a fact-checking feature last year to stem the spread of conspiracy theories, including those that question the terrorist attack on the World Trade Center in New York City that killed thousands. The algorithm is supposed to display information panels with links to third-party sources, including Encyclopedia Britannica and Wikipedia, while displaying videos on subjects linked to conspiracies, according to the company. Social media companies have been turning to computerized tools, bad move, to help detect and eliminate fake news, which is quite funny because what happened the other day? Fucking Facebook's the thing did something.
I remember seeing something about it, but I don't do Facebook.
These bots just don't really work properly. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, really.
It doesn't. I mean, I get it. YouTube is a huge business, and there's probably very little way that actual human people could, check out every video on the format. But yeah, these bots that they got going now just ain't getting it, dude.
No, they're not.
Ain't getting it. And speaking of which, we have 83 people watching, only 34 likes. We're almost through with the stream. If you don't know that you like the stream or not by now, you never will. Go a like on there, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
And if you want to go a little further, as I said, I have disabled super chats, and I gave the reason why. Because AdSense is being a butthead and not letting me get my money. But there is Streamlabs and Patreon if you want to go a little further. So there we are.
Indeed, indeed. I'm just looking at this article because the headline is "How Assassin's Creed Could Save Notre Dame."
Yeah, I'd seen that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because of the mapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that the reason why? I was just trying to scan the bloody paragraph.
Yeah, the Notre Dame. One of the great things about it is that it, as a historical landmark that has been used in like video games and stuff, where people want to get it like identical.
Yep.
I mean, it has been scanned into computers like down to every last nook and cranny. So yeah, they'll be able to rebuild it to exact spec. I mean, even if they wanted to get like a this board here was broken.
Oh, bodacious T. Load last autosave. Yeah.
That's right. Basically.
Good grief. I have another article.
Okay. Toasted, I think you just did. Says, can you tell everyone I'm having a small stream after Redneck Radio? You just did, dude.
There you go. I have another article from the BBC. And it's a food article.
Food? I like food.
You won't like this, mate. The gender fight behind Sicily's most iconic snack.
Gender fight over a snack.
Yeah, I know, right? Praised for its unique texture and message of solidarity, this iconic Sicilian dish is a surprising source of conflict within the island. Okay, Danilo Festa felt moved when last August, while participating in a sit-in protest against Italy's anti-migrant policies and to welcome asylum seekers into eastern Sicily, he saw many of his fellow citizens show up to the docks of Catania? I don't know. Port with arancini, a local fried rice ball made with savory fillings like green peas and meat. Sounds delicious. A group of artists had suggested arancini as symbol of the protests. Festa recalled, it was a happy moment that broke the tense political climate. The peaceful gathering was a public show of solidarity for the more than 100 immigrants rescued at sea aboard the Diciotti vessel on 15th of August 2018, who were denied landing for 10 days after Italy's interior minister, Matteo Salvini, claimed it was other EU states' responsibility to take them in, even though it's actually none of the European nation states to take them in. Following that decision, some activists decided to greet the migrants with this popular Sicilian snack. Arancino is the kind of local food you offer hungry guests, Festa said, considering it also evolved into its current get to the point article. My God. Praised for its unique texture. You've already said this, you ball bags. Oh my God, they literally copied and pasted one of the paragraphs from before. Fuck you, BBC. One of the biggest reasons behind the fame of this street food normally served at bars or sidewalk food stalls simply wrapped in a napkin to take away is the huge gender dilemma it's been posing on Sicilians for decades. While those living on the eastern side of the island use masculine name, it's about the name. Fuck you, BBC. You made me read all that to get to nothing. Fuck you. No. No. Fuck off. Fucking BBC. After all that, it's about the pronunciation of it.
Wow.
Out.
Get out.
Fucking
Get back. Get back. Stand your ground.
Oh no. Throwing a bit of shade there.
Oh, I'll be throwing shade for some while. I mean, I'm sorry, but I just find it really hilarious and sad at the same time.
Well, I'll let you go back to that then, rather than looking up the BBC friggin' news articles. Really annoyed by that. A functional says it's pronounced arancini. Foreign.
Yeah, that foreign word.
That
foreign word right there.
Yeah.
That there foreign word?
That's right.
Italian.
So we've got about 15 minutes left in the stream. No, I don't have a story. I've just been far too busy today to think of one. One might come to me before the end of the stream, but in any case, we can open it up to questions.
15 minutes of it. That's fair enough. That is fair enough.
And while we're waiting for what we say to get out to the people out there, we know the delay.
Yeah.
Maniac, these are the same people that are trying to say the Spanish word for black is racist. So, yeah.
Negro.
Yeah.
Negro. Negro. Yeah. So them arguing over the pronunciation of a word does not surprise me.
Use because I'm older than y'all. And when I was a kid, that was the preferred term.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to be called.
Yeah.
It's changed so much over my lifetime. I get it. What do you want me to call you now? I don't know.
Well, it's like I did have a grandmother that I would consider a bigot because she told me one time when we were going to downtown Miami for shopping that because the American black people knew that, you know, they were being talked about if we said negro, she now called them tutti fruities.
Oh.
And I just looked at her and I went, seriously?
Well, trust me, I'm a redneck. And yes, there are factions of my extended family that are extremely racist. They do exist, but
yeah, every time I see Latinx cynical, it just makes my eye twitch because that is not a word.
What, Latinx?
Yeah. Lord.
BG says, just give us a hold my beer moment for story time. Oh my gosh, I've had so many of those. I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
Well, he could. He's just choosing not to.
Yeah.
Foxy did not ask a question, and if she does again, she'll be getting timed out for the remainder of the live stream.
Well, there is one real quick hold my beer moment that come to mind real quick when he said that. When I had moved back to Kentucky for a little while in the early 80s, I worked at a sawmill. I think I've told one story at least from working at that sawmill. And it was in the time of year where it was pretty chilly in the morning. Sawmill work is almost all outside. So it was getting pretty chilly. And we would all go stand in this area where overnight, after everybody left, they would burn wood scraps. There'd just be a huge bonfire, like 20, 30 feet across every night, which makes a lot of sense in a sawmill, huh? But that's what they did. And we would all go stand in the middle of that. By that point, by the time we come in the morning, it would just be glowing embers, right? And so we'd go stand in the middle of that, warm up. And one day, I'm standing there warming up, smoking a cigarette, and the guy says, dude, you're on fire. I said, what? He goes, you're on fire. And I looked down, and my jeans that I had on had tattered, the edges of them were tattered, and it had caught fire, and flames were leaping up my leg. Yeah, I'd done an Irish jig. Put that out. I never went back to stand in the middle of that glowing embers again to warm up.
I wonder why.
Pat says, you see my tweet about the video where the guy's saying men need to call out men's behavior. No, I haven't seen that yet, Pat. I'm sure it's got to be good.
Yeah. I used to, I homeschooled our son, and the only way to wake him up, because I tried pulling the covers off of him, I tried pulling him out of bed and standing him up. None of that worked. So I would get in the habit, now that he had bunk beds and was sleeping in the top bunk, to walk into the room, smack him very smartly in the ass, and walk out, because as soon as I did that, I'd hear him go, Mom! And I knew he was awake. So that became a morning routine. One morning I went in there and slapped him on what I thought was his ass and walked out. It took him a little longer than usual to come out of the bedroom. And he went, Mom, yeah? I was lying on my back. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, honey.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't mess with my mom on getting up. She gave you one opportunity to get up for school. You got one freebie. If you didn't get up when she come in and told you to get up, and she's done this before, she would grab you by the big toe and pull you out of bed.
Ooh.
Into the floor. So you learned pretty quick that when mom come in and said, it's time to get up. I'm up.
Yeah.
I'm awake.
It was the same morning that when we finally I told him, I said, we're going to get dressed today because we're supposed to be feel more productive when you're dressed. So get dressed and I'll meet you in the office to start your homeschool day. I came in with a cup of coffee for me, a smaller cup of coffee for him, and he was wearing a t-shirt that his great-grandmother had sent him that said, I got up for this. I went, that's not lost on me, by the way. He went, am I in trouble? I don't know yet.
Toasted X, which is actually Toasted. That's a valid question. Bloodwing, what did your racist family member that you say you have did when your daughter married a black man? And it's more than one that's racist. There's some more than other. They never said a word to me. Let me explain something. I'm the oldest grandchild on both sides of the family, and I have a bit of a reputation. And they all know I'm not afraid to say what I want, and they never said a word to me. Not one. Now, I have had issues in my neighborhood. I've told the story, I know, to Bear before, that I'd be sitting, there was one instance I was sitting out on the back deck. We were having a cookout, and these kids were walking down the street. Kids, I mean, older teenagers. And there my son-in-law was standing, and they just kept staring and staring and staring. And me being me, I said, what's the matter? Haven't you never seen a black guy before? Which, of course, they and hurried off. But
my mom said she was in Miami for a family dinner the year that my cousin Javi came out to everybody. Now, most of my family is stereotypically Catholic, so you could just imagine the reactions that went through the crowd, as my mother said. She says, and my brother, his dad, was, looking shocked. She goes, and then your cousin Veronica walked right up to your Uncle Raymond and said, you mean to tell me that the fact that he never brought home a girlfriend was not a hint?
What do you mean, Foxy? You finally got somebody to answer a question I never seen. You asked me one. If I had seen it, I would have answered it.
Stop ignoring Foxy.
Shame on me.
I apologize. I've been so quiet. I've been arguing with a moron on Twitter.
Of course you have.
And it required some research I had to dig up, so I had to do a lot of reading there. I do apologize for that.
Do tell. We've got time.
Well, Kamala Harris just came out and suggested that black women are dying at a higher rate. Black maternal rates are higher than whites because of racism.
Okay.
Apparently, there's racist doctors out there killing black women when they give birth. And I, I called her on it. And someone answered back, oh, just do your research. Of course it's happening. I was like, well, by all means, what are you talking about? And I knew before I got my answer, she's going to be, do your own research. So I went and did the research. And there's a story about this black woman, right? Very wealthy black woman, great insurance, perfect pedigree when it comes to education. She's got I think she had 2 PhDs, something like that. Really well-off woman who should be able to afford the very, very best of everything, right? Which she did. But she ended up dying 3 weeks after she gave birth due to a complication that there was some bleeding internally. And she died while there's poor white girls who have no access to medicine who didn't die. What racist doctor killed this woman? Who did it? There wasn't even a doctor there when she died. It was a rare complication after birth. You silly bitch. How about instead of looking at racism, we look at, hey, what's causing black women to have this higher rate?
Right.
You can't do that.
Medical fucking cause, you idiots.
Yep.
But monkey, that'd be against the narrative. We can't have that.
That's the science we should be looking for.
Yep.
And look, if there are places, like if there's hospitals that don't have the right equipment or the right resources, for instance, say they don't have enough blood on hand and somebody starts bleeding. You know what? You need to do more blood drives there. Hey, look, you just saved a whole bunch of women's lives. Black, white, Latino, everyone.
Yeah, I had to, when I had my surgery, my surgeon's actually out of one hospital, but he had to put me in another hospital because where he's at was not set up to do the kind of surgery he wanted to do. So,
yeah. So look, there may be problems, and maybe there are communities that are underserved, but you can't just look at it and go, it's racism. No, it's not. We need to figure out what the problem is. Stop just screaming racism every time we see a problem, you stupid bitches. The maternal death rate in the U.S. has jumped dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
It was like I want to say 10, maybe 9, no, like 10 or 14 deaths per 100,000. And then the last one they did, it's at like 23 or 29, some shit like that. So it jumped across the board. And you can't just say it's racism.
And most of it's because people aren't taking care of themselves.
Well, not only they're electing to have cesarean sections when they don't need one.
You got that. We have the rise of, I don't have to go to a hospital. I'm going to have birth in a tub with a guru who smells like shit and hasn't bathed in 6 months. There's a whole lot of reasons.
Yeah. Your boy passes. How am I liking the leftists and celebs being hypocrites about the illegal immigrants? It's pretty funny, isn't it, Pat? I mean, they're all about open borders and open our cities and sanctuary cities and all that. But the second someone says, okay, here, have them, they say, oh, no, that's being cruel. And
wait, random. Yeah. Random says if you're on Twitter, you're a moron. Excuse me. That is my playground, motherfucker.
Yeah. It is. It totally is. It's someone that's followed Monkey now for a couple of years. It's
oh yeah. Yeah.
That's where I find morons to mock.
It feels weird, thanks to Obama, that I now have to call Cubans that are trying to come to the United States illegals. Since he did away with wet foot, dry foot, it's very hard. But, in order to be the impartial news chick that I am, I have to. And my eye twitches every time I say it. But, hey.
Toasted says, what do I think about Bernie Sanders supporting abortion up to birth? The same thing I would think of anybody that would promote that. You're a moron.
Mm-hmm.
Foxy was asking about my mum a minute ago, about her racism. And she can be quite racist. She won't really vocalize it ever since she became like a born again Christian years and years and years ago. But prior to that, she was very racist.
but there, only white people can be racist, didn't you know?
My mum hated everybody. Like she's like dirty Somalians, dirty Pakis, dirty Indians, dirty this. And my sister Emily, when she got behind the wheel of a car, oh my god! Just
Chris Rock,
mouth on it.
He did a set a long time ago. He said, "You want to know the most racist people in America? They're old black men." He's not wrong. He's not. They are fucking horrible.
Oh yeah.
And I don't blame them. They put up with a lot of shit, man. They put up with
although
they put up with racism, man. Real racism.
I will say, years and years ago, I had a paper route, and it was in Hallville, which is an extremely dangerous gun and knife, predominantly black area. And I've got a lot of stories from delivering papers there. But the ones that would treat me the nicest and would give me extra stuff on Christmas and so forth were the older ones. I will say that. Oh, you guys should have heard that.
Is my mother black? Yes, my mother's a black woman. It was my dad that was white. Now he's like gray and black and white and the color of ash.
Okay. Well, we have reached that time, folks. It's at the end of the stream. Thank you, chat, for coming out and supporting my stream. I'm just always amazed. I'm not blowing smoke up your hind ends. I'm being serious. I'm always amazed that this many people have any care at all about what I got to say. So thank you for coming out. Thank for those that gave the donations and those of you that supported the streams in all kinds of ways. I mean, just coming to watch me supports the stream. Bear, thank you as always for being here. Anything you want to show out?
Yeah, I put out a brand new video on Irate Alex this afternoon, doing a reaction video to some awful and hilarious bootleg DVD covers. Some of them are just fantastic. It's linked in the chat there, guys. Please go give it a watch, and if you like it, please share it around. Lots of kisses if you do.
It's worth it. I watched it. It's hilarious.
There you go. You get a big sloppy bear kiss if you go watch it. How can you beat that?
Exactly.
Musi, I'm probably the only one that even ever calls you that. Maybe the only one that can get away with calling you that. Everybody else calls you Maddie. Thank you for hopping in. Anything you want to show out?
Yeah, I'm about to put it in the chat. If you guys look for that is my baby channel, Maddie's House of Geek. It's going to be about classic anime, whatever I happen to come across on Netflix and Amazon Prime. Pajama Diaries, which comes out Mondays and Friday mornings as to what I'm up to, and a little bit of vlogs. That's my fun channel. If you guys don't want to, watch my newsy stuff because it's too newsy, I just goof off over in the House of Geek. So go on over there, join me, watch a few of the videos. The first review video I did was, and for those of you that are my age or older, you're going to go, holy shit, I actually reviewed G-Force. Yes, G-Force or Gotcha Man or Battle of the Planets, whichever way you want to call it. I did a video on that. So, yep.
There you go. And Monkey, always a pleasure as usual whenever you're able to stop by.
Oh, thanks for having me. Sorry, like I said, I am sorry it was so quiet, but that one, I had one on the line, man. I couldn't help it.
It had one on the line. You had to reel that dude in.
Chick, and she declared I'm a white male, so next.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Anything you want to give a shout out?
Just will be on Lords of the Nights night, 9 p.m. Eastern time on Scribe Lights channel.
Yeah, there you go. Go check it out, dude, people. Again, thanks everybody for coming out. We'll see you again on the next episode of Redneck Radio, which will be Thursday at 2:30 EST. And until then, get out of my yard.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.